YouTube is Goddess, and I'm doing the season 2, episode 8 of Bel Air review. Yeah, I'm kind of slow with the reviews because I watch an episode, then do a review, then a new episode will come, and then I do the review and then a new episode. Yeah, I know. Don't ask. So this episode continuing from the last episode. So now, the beginning of the episode, everybody's in the kitchen on Viv, Jeffrey, and Ashley are in the kitchen. Will walks in. He's talking to everybody. On Viv is like reading out her apology letter to her fellowship for her live last time, because she felt like they took offense and they did write her like an email last episode or something specifying how they weren't too happy with her specifically, Janice. So she's basically just making her apology and saying that she still stands by what she said, but she does apologize if it offended anybody. And then she asked Jeffrey and Ashley how they felt it sounded, and they were telling her, "Oh, it sounds good." And Ashley's like, "I don't understand why you even have to write the letter, because you're standing by your values and beliefs. I don't get why you have to even write a letter, apologize for anything. Like, that doesn't make sense to me." And then Jeffrey's like, "This did, you're standing by like what you believe and things like that." So he said, "Just keep going," because he said they can't do nothing to you. Because then Will's like, "That's good that you're doing it. It's not like they can take your fellowship from you. It's nothing." And then Jeffrey was like, "Nah, that ain't finna happen. They ain't finna take nothing from her. That ain't finna happen." I'm like, "Uh-oh." I was like, "I hope not." And then she was talking about how she had some type of meeting with them anyway, like the fellowship people, to discuss her live and, how she felt and what she was saying. So while they're having this discussion, and walks Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil walks in and was like, "Oh, I gotta go. I'm about to go to class." And he said, "Oh, so this is what we're gonna do. Every time I walk in the room, you're just gonna walk out. We're not gonna have a discussion. You're not gonna talk to me. This is how it's gonna be. We're gonna do this again." And he's just like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Nah, we need to have a discussion now. No. This ain't finna fly. I'm not finna let you keep doing this. Nope." So then Uncle Phil was talking to Will, and he said, this is how it's gonna go. See, since you feel like the way I was being, it was controlling to you, when you feel like I'm doing too much and it's controlling, I'm going to let you come to me when you really need me and ask for my help, instead of me just offering my help and coming to you and it seemed like I'm controlling. So that's how it's going to be." And then Will was like, "Oh, okay, that's all I needed. That's all I wanted." Because he felt a way about last episode. Because remember last episode, Uncle Phil was accusing him of, being dedicated to his founder thing, which he is dedicated, but he's busy. And Doc was having him do a lot of stuff, so he's really busy for real. He was doing the best that he could at the moment. And he was just getting too much pressure, and he was starting to get irritated. And then, Carlton, with his manipulative ways, always manipulating something, always making it seem like, "Oh, he wasn't putting in no work." Yes, he was. He's just busy, my man. What are you talking about? He has a lot more on his back than you have. Like, let's be real. Like, you have stuff on your back, but my whole thing is partly that's his own problem, because he's always trying to, like I said last episode, always trying to appease everybody, and that's his own fault. And I just feel like he's always like, he's jealous of Will, because Will is the opposite of him. Like, he don't let people tell him what to do, and he stands up for himself. And I feel like Carlton is a little bit jealous of that, because Will don't let people tell him what to do. Will stands up for himself at all times, and Carlton has an issue with that. So Will and Uncle Phil, they talking again. They decide to squash it, forget it. Here comes Carlton coming in and walking in. As soon as he walk in, Will said, "Good night, I'm out of there." And then Viv said, "So we can't have two reconciliations?" And he said, "Nope, not finna happen." I said, "Uh-oh." So Will's like, "Nah, I'm not finna play with him, because they're not talking." So they're not talking, and as soon as he walks out, then Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil are talking to Carlton, and all of a sudden his nose stopped bleeding. And as you saw last episode, Carlton is back to sniffing that, being 100, sniffing that coke. Just saying, he's back to doing it again. He went back to talking to Connor. Connor offered it to him last episode. He could have easily said, "Nah, keep that shit." He went and he took it anyway, and then started sniffing it. Every time he's gotten stressed, he keeps sniffing it. So now he was doing it in his room yesterday, like last episode, because he did that announcement, to get people to keep him in the race for the Founders Award, because people were not believing in him, because of the simple fact that video came up. Drew sent that video about him saying, allowing Connor, his white friend, to say the N word, and Will's like, so you just gonna let him say, oh, it's not a big deal. Yes, it is a big deal. How you a person, you allowing someone that's supposed to be your friend to say that word, even though it's a song. Yeah, he shouldn't be saying it like Will was saying. So that's why he's staying in final word. People be standing for Will because Will will open his mouth and say something. You'll sit there and let people punk you and not say nothing, and that was the whole point. So he apologized and said how his stance was, and he's still in a race to to do the final. Where I don't think Connor's in a race anymore. Connor gave up; he don't care because he looks bad because he said the N word and he didn't care and he was coming for Will, so he got the race basically with Connor. So so that's the whole thing. So his nose was bleeding, and on Viv and on Viv and Uncle Phil were like, are you okay? Do you need tissue? He's like, ooh, I'm alright, I'm alright, alright. So he's gonna run to the bathroom, and I'm just like, you stupid fool. They gonna start to get two and two is gonna start to come together because they know you was doing drugs last year. Now, don't get yourself in trouble now, fool. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't get yourself in trouble now, Carlton. You're doing a little bit too much with the drugs now. You're going too far with it. So then the next scene is Will at the thing, the doc, and at the gym, and he's working out. Jackie comes up to him. It's like, oh, thank you, Will, for helping me. I appreciate you making sure I would stay home. And then she was like, I don't know if I said anything or anything like that because I don't remember nothing. He said, oh, he said, you said a lot. But we don't gotta discuss that. But he said, what happened to Brian? Because I haven't seen Brian, and that's kind of crazy. Like, where is he? Because he was trying to figure out like what's going on with Brian. Because everybody is like beating around the bush when it comes to Brian, and he's not understanding that like what's happening here. Like, and she's like, oh, we can talk about it later. We can discuss later. And then, oh, Will's like, oh, Doc is coming. Okay, I'll talk to you later. So he walked away, and then Doc is like, what's that about? And then she's like, oh, nothing. You know, he's just excited that he's starting now and everything like that. He said, make sure you do not say too much. Tread lightly. Be careful, Jackie. Do not be talking too much. And I'm like, uh-oh, what's Doc up to? What is Doc doing? Because why is he telling Jackie that? That's ridiculous. So he's telling him that, and then I'm like, all right, you're doing too much. And then Will and they come to the game. So is doing his game with Doc. So they go to that scene, and Will is playing his game, and he's doing well. He's popping. Everything's good. Oh yeah, before that they meet up in the locker room, and he picks the 14 jersey. They ask him why. It's because he was born on the 14th day, and it reminds him of when he was born. A star was born, basically. So he jersey number 14, and they're playing, and he's doing so good. Like, this is his element. He's doing well. He's passing the ball. He's shooting. He's making his 3 points. He's being a real team player, passing the ball and everything else. And Doc is allowing him to be himself. So everything is going good. They won the game and everything. So Jeffrey and Uncle Phil went to the game to support Aunt Viv couldn't because she was at that meeting, like she stated in the beginning of the episode that she had to go to that meeting with the fellowship. So she couldn't come, but was okay with that. That's fine. So they at the game and they watching, and then there's this man that keeps looking at Doc during the game and looking at him and staring at him and looking at him weird, and he keeps looking at him, and then Doc keep looking at him with like an attitude and stuff, and I'm like, okay, what is going on with this guy? Why does Doc keep looking at him like that? Pretty weird. So they won the game, and that man was still looking at him, and when they won the game, the man walked out, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. So then the next scene is Hillary was laying in bed because she's heartbroken because her and Jazz basically broke up because Jazz was acting stupid. He was having a Napoleon complex problem, and he was very intimidated about her ex because her ex is basically got way more money, way more accolades than him, and he feels small and feels like he can't live up to being with her even though she wasn't asking him to do that. She was just using him for her her agency thing she's doing, and with the house that she's doing. She was just using his contest because she couldn't get Ivy to stand on it because Ivy is doing her promotion for her drink, so she couldn't do it, and she was told not to stand by it, so she had to find some other way. So that's how she did. She used Lamarcus. Okay, so understands what the big deal was, but Jazz lost out on Hillary because he's acting childish and immature. So I'm like, okay, you're losing out on a good woman because you want to be immature. So the people in the house were came into the room and got her up and said, "You need to get up." They helped her pick her clothes, and then one of the girls was like, because this girl right here don't even know how to cook, and you normally got the food, you normally on top. So I know you heard it, but come on, can we make breakfast? Can we continue on what we're doing because we're getting traction for our house and everything because of you, please? And then she's like, "Okay, I guess." So she got up and everything. And then, like I was telling you, that guy at the game, they go back to the scene, and Uncle Phil and Jeffrey are walking outside. And that same guy that was in the gym staring weird and angry at Doc was arguing with Doc in in the parking lot. And they going at it back and forth. And then Uncle Phil was like, "What's that about?" And then Jeffrey said, "I'm on it. I'm going to check that out and see what that's about because something's not right." And I'm like, uh-oh. Someone finna get investigated because we need to know what the man is arguing with you about. Like, what is happening here? And still a mystery about Brian, who was starting with the other boy, why he's now missing in action as well. We still don't know why he's missing, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, and then Carlton was. They go back to school, and then Carlton is talking to Lisa, thanking her for everything. He said, "I just want to thank you. I don't know if I think he's high or something. He's acting kind of like weird." And then he was like, "Oh, here's his wrist bracelet." He put it around her hand. And he said, "I just want to thank you for being a friend and always having my back no matter what and being here for me no matter throughout anything." She said, "I'll always be here, we friends. And, I always, being," he said, "and because of you, I'm still up for the Founders Award." And she said, "Nah, it's just like what you said that compelled everybody to be like, you know what, we feel what you're saying. So you getting all that you deserve and everything." And people, I'm looking at notebooks. I wrote down notes. It's too much stuff that happened in this episode. There's a lot going on. I was just like trying to figure everything out. So I had to write some notes down because this episode was jam packed. It's full effect, and it was pretty interesting. So he gave her the wrist bracelet to Lisa, and then he walked away. And then she was just stunned, like, "Okay, thanks for the wrist bracelet." Kind of weird, but okay. Thanks, friend, I guess. Next scene is Aunt Viv at that meeting with the people in the fellowship. The people, and those people are higher up than Janice. So they met with her, and they said, "We so surprised to see, how, like to hear how you felt because we never knew you felt like that, and we're sorry to make you that you felt uncomfortable and things like that. But it was great to hear your side of it, and we wanted to ask you something." She's like, "Oh, what? We want to offer you Janice position." And she's like, "What? Is it?" They basically offered her this position, and it's Janice's position. And then she's like, "Wait a minute." They like, because we don't feel the way she feels, and then we just feel like, it's time for a change, and we would feel you would do really great in her role, and where you want to go with it, because we want to go with what's happening now. We tired of the same thing, and we think that you would qualify for the position. And she's just like stunned, like, where did this come from? Like, I wasn't expecting this when we had this meeting. Okay, and then next thing is Uncle Phil is at his talking to his partner James, and they're basically celebrating the loss of their third partner, which is Derek, and his death. And during the conversation, Uncle Phil is like feeling weird. Like, "Do you sure you want to do this?" Because he feels weird because he had that meeting with Erica, his ex, and they're asking him to come to where she works at to work for her firm and things like that. And they want him, and they've offered him a contract and things, and giving him terms and stuff. And he did take the meeting, so he's like feeling away. So he's looking weird, and he's like, "Oh no, we need to celebrate. We need to remind people about our, our law firm and what we started the law firm for, the reason why we brothers and things like that." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I feel that." So it's very interesting. I was like, "Okay, Uncle Phil." And Uncle Phil's looking weird because, he took that meeting and he didn't tell his partner. But his partner, James, did the same thing to him a couple episodes ago. So they both doing each other the same thing and trying to be sneaky. So that's basically it. And then next scene is Will sees Lisa with Drew. He's like walking in the hall, and he sees like Drew with his arm around her and them holding hands, and then he's looking like, "What is she doing? She back talking to Drew again?" So then, you know, he walks up to Carlton's like, Carlton, we gotta talk. I just saw Lisa with Drew. So I need you to tell her, because I'm letting you know that Drew basically admitted to me that he sent that video. The video where they showed that thing, you know, you saying, you know, Connor saying the N word, and you know, that video that sent it to everybody's phones, that was Drew that did that. So I need you to tell her, because me and her are not on talking terms, and you know, if I say something, she's gonna think I'm hating. So I think that it should come from you. So that's it. I think he said, okay, thank you. He said, you know, for what it's worth, Will, I'm sorry, you know. And then Will was like, oh, you're sorry, you ain't worth shit. So I don't care. And bye. And he walked away. I said, oops. So Will is like, I don't give a damn about your apology because it's bullshit. And I agree with Will. I'm not accepting your apology because Carson has a habit of constantly doing it. Like every time something happens, it's like he reverts back to what he did last season, like blaming Will for stuff, and Will don't got nothing to do with that. He did not send that video. Like I said, I knew it wasn't him. Why would he send that video to make you look bad? He doesn't do things like that. He doesn't do cheap shots. He doesn't do things like that. Like if he's gonna win, he's gonna win fair and square. He's not gonna throw you under the bus and be sending videos because y'all are on good terms now. The way it was last year was the way it was last year. He went past. He's gotten past that already. So he's moved on. He's not trying to be negative, but you're consistently being negative, and you're consistently like got this jealousy thing where you're jealous of him, and you saying he's doing stuff that he's not even doing. Like you have this thing, and Will is just sick of it. So Will didn't want to hear his apology. He's just like, keep your apology, because like the nerve of you to really think that I would do some shit like that, and you know me, and I'm your family, and for you to be accusing me and feel like I would do something like that, just no, I'm not finna take that apology. That apology ain't finna fly. So you know Carlton, how Carlton is, he internalizes stuff. Like if he does something wrong, he apologizes right away, thinking that that's gonna cure or fix the problem, when it's not, and it doesn't fix nothing. And then when you don't hop, skip, and jump when he wants, then he's just like starts to feel, you know, guilty and feel bad, and then he wants to do drugs basically. All right, next scene, Viv is talking to her friend, told her about the position. Her friend's like, oh, you should take the position, girl. That's a good position. You deserve it, girl. You better say that. And then Bill's like, I don't really know about her. I'm not too sure because I just feel like I'm stabbing another sister in back and taking her position from her. I'm not cool with that. And then, you know, her friend, basically that's the friend that she was friends with in college. And you know, Erica's back in full swing. You know, she used to date Uncle Phil back in the days, a year ago, basically years ago in college for a couple of years. So Viv is like, and then her friend's like, oh girl, you wanna go slide up on her? You know, she owed me some money, like $20, and how she did you, yeah, you know, let's slide up on her, let's get it. And then Viv was like, oh, I don't really want to do that, you know, I'm just trying to let Uncle Phil work through that. I don't think we should go about it this because, you know, I don't want to do that. And then her friend's like, you trying to think about everybody else but yourself. You trying to think about Phil, how he feels. You trying to think about Janice, how she feels. You trying to think about Erica, how she feels. But what about what you want and how you feel? Like, you pushing your feelings at the back burner. Okay? She said, you want to take the high road, but, like, who's looking out for you while you taking the high road, though? Like, who's looking out for Aunt Viv? Like, what's going on? And the friend thinks that she should go after Erica and talk with Erica, and she also thinks that she should come for that life. Like, she should definitely get at her, because she said no, because she was out of pocket how she did you from before, and she said, I don't know how you do it, girl. You trying to be nice and everything, but I can't do it. And I agree with her. Like, you're gonna have a discussion with her, because she is sneaky, and what she did in the past, you know. You know, you can forgive people, but yeah, you do have to have a discussion with her, because she's sneaky a little bit. So you gotta watch her and watch her moves, and ensure that this is just professional, and this is all it is. She ain't trying nothing, because if she tries something, it's gonna be a problem. So yeah, you need to have a discussion with, like, your friend said. I like that you're doing it in a professional manner, though. You're not going about, because your friend was trying to do some other stuff. I don't know what the friend thought she was doing, but yeah, she can't do stuff like that. Excuse me, she can't do stuff like that. She have to do it. She have to tread lightly what she's doing, because it could make, you know, Uncle Phil look bad. Anything that she do is it's gonna come back on Uncle Phil, and she don't want to cause no problems. That's why she's trying to go at it like this. Next scene is they're at Ashley's school, and they have this project, and they partner everybody up together, and they partner Ashley with this girl named Olivia. Now I think that's the girl that snitched on the lady, but I'm not sure. So I'm trying to remember if she looks the same. So she's partnered up with Olivia, and Ashley's like looking like, oh, God, why did they put me with her? Ugh, can't stand her, since Miss Hughes is not there no more. Ashley just seems like, she's to herself, like she ain't really hanging or talking with nobody. Because from what I remember, I think she had a couple of friends or something last season, but this season it don't seem like she's hanging out with anybody this season. It's like it seems like she's alone this season. Actually in school. So next scene is Hillary. She's talking to LaMarcus, and she meets him up at his apartment, and he's still like fixing things up, and he's talking to her like, "Ooh, you see the pool and everything? You can go out there in your bikini, blah blah blah." And she's like, "Ooh, this is a professional call and conversation. Yeah, I'm not on that right now." And he's like, "Okay, okay, okay, professional then, professional then." So she was talking, since I'm trying to get more things for the house, I just want to know about, like, if I can get in touch with your marketing and get help because, Ivy has surgery, and she has this billboard that she said that she's gonna get on this certain street or what have, and on Hollywood Avenue or some big time street, and for her drink, and I'm trying to get that. He said, "Oh, anything you need, I got you." He said, "If you want the, I got anything, I'll help you out with the market and everything, because he said, I know if you want it, that you earned it and you got it, so I'm finna help you. I got your bag." He said, "I'm gonna connect you to them." And she's like, "Really?" Like, yeah. So then they go to Uncle Phil and James, and they're at their dinner, and they're talking to all their different partners and everything, and everybody's still celebrating the loss of their friend, Derek, and how he passed away from a heart attack, and he thought after that their firm would end, that they would be done, but they continue to go on, and that they're going to continue their legacy of their firm in the memory of Derek and things like that. And that just gave me chills. I was so happy about that. That was really nice. I was like, oh, okay. Giving us a little backstory on how their firm was, how they started at the beginning, and how they were all three, and losing him gave them the push that they needed to continue on, to keep the legacy going and keep their firm going, to continue to show people their united front, and the fact they're going to continue on for the memory of their friend, the lost friend, death of their friend. So that was really nice. Next scene, James is coming at Uncle Phil about the meeting and stuff like that, and talking to him. Is like, "Don't think that I don't know about that meeting that you had, because people be talking to me and coming at me and telling me stuff, and come to find out you had a meeting with Eric, with that firm or what have, and with Erica, and that's kind of crazy how all that stuff you said up there and you being fake and stuff." I'm like, okay, Jack. He's saying for his neck. I said, okay. Next scene, Carlton sees Drew and Lisa holding hands at school, and he confronts Lisa like, "That's crazy. You back with Drew after all he done, and he keep coming for me, and you back with him again, and come to find out he the one who dropped that video." "Oh no, how you know that?" "No, he didn't, and I'm sorry if you thought that we were getting back together, but we're not." And then he was like, "First of all, I'm not interested in you like that again. That's first of all." And he said, "It's kind of funny. I feel sorry for you that you're so desperate that you're willing to jump on the next man that gives you attention since you can't get back with Will." It's kind of desperation. And then she was like, "F you, Carlton." And he said, "Whatever." I was like, ooh. Next scene, Carlton is walking out of school because he hot. He hot. He tight. So he walking away, and then he sees Connor. He walks in Connor's car. It's like, "Do you have any more of that stuff?" And he's like, "Oh, I thought you didn't want to do it." And he's like, "Nah, I'm still cool with you. You got any more stuff?" He said, "Oh no, I don't got no more. We gotta go to the place or whatever." He said, "Follow me." So Carlton is gonna go follow Connor to the place. So he gets some more coke. Get that stuff. And Drew saw him talking to Connor, and he's like looking weird, like, I said, So Carlton follows Connor to get more coke, basically. Next thing is Lisa's having car trouble, and she's trying to turn the car around. Shh. It ain't turning. Something wrong. She can't get it to turn. Shh. And she's like, "Oh shit." So Will asked her, "Do you need help? I can help you." And she's like, no, I'm good. I don't need your help. Thank you." He said, "You sure? Because I can drop you where you need to go. Do you need me to drop you home? Because I'll drop you home. No problem." She said, "Nah, you wouldn't need to really drop me home. You have to take me to the hospital because my brother's coming." He said, "Oh, congratulations." She's like, "Yeah, but I don't need your help." Blah, blah. So she's still having trouble with the car. And then Will's like, "You need to come on and stop playing." He said, "Come on, just let me help you. Like, I will drop you off wherever you need to go, the hospital, wherever it need to be. I will help you. Like, it's not a big deal. Let's go." Because you were having trouble, obviously, and I'm going to help you. So, next scene, Ashley and Olivia talk about the project, and she didn't, and she's like, Olivia's just like, she said, and then acted like, I think we should do, like, talk about a robot that, does this. And then Olivia's like, oh, what about a robot that cleans, like, self-clean for you? And she's like, I guess. And then Ashley and her were just basically discussing how they don't really like each other or whatever because, and she said, well, I don't really kind of like you because you snitched on Mrs. Houston, got her sent away. And then she said, no, I didn't. She said, I would never do that. I love Mrs. Houston, and me and Mrs. Hughes used to be close until she started dealing with you or whatever. And she said, I thought you were stuck up before. She said, no, I'm not stuck up. I'm just a loner, and I'm sorry I made that assumption. I guess I was wrong. Okay. And then they started talking. She said, maybe I could use that robot you thinking about to help me clean up my room. And then they started laughing. And then they got past it and they just had the discussion because she thought that she was the one who got Miss Hughes in trouble. It was a student that got Mrs. Hughes in trouble, or somebody. It's either Olivia or somebody else. Some other girl did. There was somebody. But I don't remember if it was Olivia because they didn't really say who the student was. They just showed a white girl. So it could have been anybody because there's a lot of white girls in that school. So don't tell me. I don't know. So next scene is Connor and Carlton arrive at the house, and he said, and then Carlton's like, these are the type of people you hanging out with now? He said, yeah, these one of my friends. I went to a party. I met these people. We've been hanging out ever since. We cool, meet some new friends. He said, okay. So basically, walked into the house. They're supposed to get the drugs and go. So they had this little tray, and it was full of pills, cocaine. It was full of everything you could think of. On. He said, "Pick your poison. Which one do you want? What you want?" I'm like, "What the hell, Carlton, are you doing? You know you on them. You know you on that medication. And you're not supposed to use that. You're not supposed to even be doing cocaine and then doing the thing. And now you doing that." So Carlton was like, "Oh, we could just stay a party, And he's like, "Oh, really? Okay, let's do it." So next scene is James still talking to Uncle Phil about the meeting, and then um, Uncle Phil was just explaining to him about the meeting and just like, I wasn't trying to slight you. Erica just called me on a meeting. I went to the meeting not knowing what it was about, and then they offered me the job. And he said, "You took it or whatever?" He said, "No, I didn't take the meeting. It's just that I just went to the meeting to see what it was about. That's all it was." And then he's like, "Oh, okay," because I was just trying to figure it out or whatever. And next scene is Will and Lisa are at the hospital waiting for them. He dropped her off at the hospital and then he walked. He said, "I'm just gonna walk in with you." She said, "You don't have to do that. You could just go about your way. It's not a big deal." He said, "No, I'm not gonna leave you, and I know you don't walk in by yourself." So he walked in, and they were reminiscing, basically talking. And she's like, "I just feel like an outsider. My new brother's coming on. My my stepmom and my dad's like they have a whole other life, and I'm like an outsider, and I just don't feel welcomed and things of that nature." And it was like, I understand how you feel. You know how it is with my family. I'm like kind of like the same thing and feeling like I don't belong either. So I do understand how you feel and what have. And then he's getting text messages from Jackie like, "Are you meeting up with me?" And then he said, "I'm gonna be on my way. I'm running a little late. What have." Next scene is Viv went to speak to Erica at the office. She said, "We need to speak because this ain't finna fly. You came into town, you had this meeting with my husband and stuff like that, and you didn't even reach out to me and have a discussion with me. Like, what's that about?" Okay, and then they go back to Will and Lisa talking, and she said she just feel alone. Then Will's like, "I understand how you feel, and it's like hard, like just trying to, you know, be like separate from everybody and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna be on my own and separate myself from everybody and just be away from everybody and just be an outcast and just forget everything. It's like it's hard doing that and being like that, you know. And then, you know, the dad came out. He's like, you know, thank you, Will, for coming and helping her. And then he was looking at her and she said, Dad, the car's not working and he had to help me get here. And he said, you know, you're important to me and I'll make sure I get that fixed. She said, yeah, you know, you have the baby coming, so it's not a big deal. He said, it is a big deal to me. I love you. You're my baby. You're important to me too. I'll get it fixed, you know. And then the lady came out, oh, the baby, it's time for pushing. The baby coming. So she's just looking like, okay. He said, I'm going to deal with this, okay? I'll be right back. So then her and Will is still talking. Will stays with Lisa because he's being her friend. And, you know, he's trying to be there for her, even though she said she didn't want to be his friend. As usual, they have this little chemistry thing going on. You know, they're cute together. I really like them together. But I just feel like she was being real hasty and real stupid last episode. The couple episodes ago, talking about we can't be friends and all this other nonsense. First of all, Will is it's the best thing that's happened to you, and he's a sweet guy. The only reason why he didn't want to be with you is because of the dad and how the dad was treating him, and make it seem he's a bad person because of his past. You know, the whole situation, what happened in Philly, and the reason why he came here and stuff like that. So that's the only reason why he said that he wanted to separate from me. But they have this chemistry and undeniable cuteness right there. They cute. I like them together. So they're cute. So he was just like pushing her, basically, and telling her like, you know, just I know it's easier to be an outcast and separate yourself, but sometimes, you know, you got to realize that this is something new and this is your new family and that you got to do this sometimes, whatever. So next scene is Lamarcus got Hillary on a billboard. So he says, I got a surprise for you. And they meet on the roof. And then he unties her thing. And she's on a billboard. And it's a surprise. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And then he's like, another thing, I gotta admit, you know, I told you I just wanted to be your friend, but I lied. Like, I want to be more than your friends with you, and I'm coming back. I'm coming back for you. And he said, no disrespect to your man. I know you got a man and everything, but I'm coming for you full smoking, and just let him know it's competition. And he said, I hope he's coming correct at you, but she didn't let him know that they had broken up or nothing. She just was like, he said, I'm very speechless. This billboard's making me speechless, and what you just said, I'm speechless. Like, I don't know what to say. So he said, let's take a picture then of you in front of your billboard. Let's do that. She was like, jeez, I was like, you better get it, girl. She look cute. I love Hillary, aka Coco Jones, because you know she sings too. Outside of acting on this show, she being a jack of all trades. She dance, she sing, and she acting. She lit. I like her. I like her character on here. Next, Uncle Phil told James. Next scene, he's still talking to James, and he told James that he's not taking it and that he's going to stand by the firm and they're going to continue to do what he's been doing and that he's not going to take the position, basically. Exactly. And they both decide that they're not going to take secret meetings anymore behind each other's backs and that they're going to respect one another and do what they're supposed to do. So I'm like, okay. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't want him to take the meeting or to work with Erica because it's going to cause a rift between him and Aunt Viv, and I did not want that. I said, I hope they're not finna cause no trouble for Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil. No, cannot do it. So next scene is Aunt Viv and Erica hashing it out. Erica spoke to Aunt Viv and then they got into it and she stated that she's her line sister and how she dated Uncle Phil and how that kind of pissed her off and how it's like, how could you be cool doing it? You're my line sister. And she said it wasn't a big deal. Uncle Phil didn't have a problem with it. What's the big deal? And she said, oh, it wasn't a big deal. And y'all dated each other for 2 years straight, though. So it wasn't a big deal. And why did y'all date each other for all that time? And she said, it's the past. And I'm not like that. She said, I'm just coming to talk to you just to make sure that all it is professional because you are sneaky and you do like to mess with other people's boyfriends. So I'm just significant others. And she said, you know, that was back then and you got the prize and you won him and you're married to him. So this is nothing but professional. That's the only reason why I reached out to him. That's it, and that is all. She said, oh, just, okay. She said, the gen is just professional. Okay, she said, I'm just making sure. So next scene is Carlton is still at the house. This man is going above and beyond. I didn't never, I thought thought that he was doing drugs, that he was crazy. This scene, Carson, you are on medication and you are doing sniffing cocaine, squishing up pills, sniffing pills, taking shots, just going crazy, doing pills and doing shots and shots. He just did a lot of shots, did a lot of sniffing, a lot of it, and then he had the bottle in his hand. He was like, "Hey, yeah." I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, okay. Yo, Carlton, son, stop. He was going crazy. I said, boy, what is you doing? Okay, so he partying and going crazy. Next minute, flash, he wake up. He said, oh. When he wake up, nobody's there in the living room with him no more. Number two, guess what happened? His car is missing. His car keys is missing. And his phone's missing. Where did it go? Obviously, the people that were there with you, Connor and your little friends, took your car. So he's just, and it's raining outside at that. So he's and he don't know what to do because he can't call Will to get help because Will ain't talking to his ass now. Stupid. See, burn your bridges. See, if he was still talking to Will, he could have easily talked to Will and got out of the trouble, and Will could have helped him look for the car. Because he wanted to be an ass and talk, like, treat Will like shit and treat his cousin like that, he screwed himself. So now, guess who he had to call? Mommy. On Viv. So you know he had to come up with a lie because you know he's panicking. He's like, oh shit. Where's my car? Oh my God, I don't know where it is. So because he doesn't have a phone, he can't like look for his car or check for anything or call anybody because he doesn't have his phone. He doesn't have his car. He doesn't have nothing. So you know he called on Viv. Next scene is on Viv comes to pick him up. He's all coast. So when he gets in the car, Aunt Viv is sitting there. She's like, what happened? You know, he made up some contrived little story about, oh, yeah, I was taking the thing and I was drinking alcohol. I know. So he only fessed up to drinking alcohol. Didn't fess up to do that cocaine because you know he's going to be in trouble if he fess up to that. So he's just like, oh, yeah, I don't know. And, you know, I got stuck in a fog and I can't remember where the car is. And I was in the car and then I just got out. And then I got lost. And I'm just like, this story don't even make sense what he's saying. I'm like, So he basically lied to Aunt Viv. And I'm like, uh-oh. He's on that lying shit again. Okay. You gonna get your ass in trouble, Carlton. And I'm just like, just amazed at him with the lie, because the lie don't make sense. His lie don't make no sense. Like, how were you in the car and then you walked out of the car and then all of a sudden I guess because of his prescription pills, because they changed the dosage, he's using like the side effects that you can get from the dosage of the pill. If you mix it with alcohol, what can happen and how you can get dazed and you can lose your memory and not know where you are and get and basically like, oh, I don't know where I'm at. So that's how he was acting. Like, and I'm just like, next scene, Viv and him are at home, and he's in the kitchen sitting with G, and Jeffrey's just looking at him weird because he is looking very like guilty and looking very strange. So he's looking at him strange. He made him some tea, gave him the tea, and then in the next room, Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv are arguing, and Uncle Phil saying that doesn't make no sense. First of all, it's dangerous that he's mixing the prescription that he is taking for what he has, and then he's mixing it with alcohol. Is dangerous, but the story don't even make sense. And then Aunt Viv's like, do you dead serious want him to, you want to go out there and call him a liar, and then he'll never come to us and tell us anything if we do that. And then Uncle Phil is just like, so we're gonna sit here and allow him to lie to us like this? Okay, I'm not gonna call him out right now, but when I find out, we finna see. So G is still looking at him crazy. They walk out, and you know how Carlton is, the apology stuff. Oh, I'm so sorry, you know what's wrong. And you know, I'll never do that again. The drinking and the pills and stuff, I'll never do that ever again because it ain't the best. And then Uncle Phil told him straight up. He said, we need to talk, and I need to, and he said, nah, right now, I just want to go lay down. And then Uncle said, I'll come up there and lay with you. He said, no, I'm okay, Mom, I'm all right. And then Uncle said, no, you're not all right. And he said, no, now we're going to watch you a little bit more closely now. And then G was looking at him, and then they was like, yeah, we're going to watch you a little more closely now. So now they're going to watch him like us. So they go back to the hospital, and Will is still with Lisa, and the dad comes out. It's like, oh, the baby's born. He's born. Blah blah blah. And she decides, and the dad's like, you sure? Do you want to do this and see the baby? Because if you're not ready, I understand. She said, nah, I'm gonna go. And then the dad was like, thank you for everything you did. And he was like, what you talking about? I just dropped her off here. He said, nah, you helped, and I appreciate it. And it shook, and he had some type of respect for Will, because he know Will talked her, got her into being okay with seeing the baby, and going in and seeing her brother and stuff. Because before she spoke to her, she was not very comfortable with it, and she was feeling out of, feel like she didn't matter, and she basically wasn't welcome and stuff like that. But now she's trying to make it work because of what he was telling her. Like, sometimes you gotta just realize that this is something new, and this is your new way your family looks now, and you just gotta be accepting of it and understand that things ain't gonna go back to where it was. So you're gonna have to be acceptable of what the situation is now, because it ain't gonna go back. This is who he's with. He's with your stepmom now. He loves her. They had a whole baby together, and you're part of the family, and you're gonna have to just go along with it, because this is what it is. And then she kind of understood it, and then she just went along with it. Then next scene is G telling Uncle Phil that he has some information about Doc or what have. Next, and that then they went off and they decided to talk about it. The next scene is Will finally left after she went to go see her brother, and then he went to where she's at the school to go see Jackie. And he's like, oh, to the front reception. Oh, where's Jackie? She said, oh, Jackie already left. And he was like, oh, dang. And he said, dang it. So then he was about to leave, and then Brian pops up, and he's like, oh, snap. And he's like, yo, like, I keep asking everybody what is happening to you and what happened to you, and nobody's answering me. So can you let me know what's going on? And he said, are you sure? He said, yeah, of course I'm sure. I want to know what it is. Like, let me know. And then he basically explained that he told him Doc is not who you think he is, blah, blah, blah. So then he's like, oh, snap. So the next scene is G talking to Carlton, and he walks into Carlton's room, and he said, I found your car, I found everything, whatever. And he said, so are you sure about the story that you told them or whatever? And he said, yeah, I can't recall, like I told him. And he said, I understand that, but from where you were at and where we found your car is 10 miles from there, and there was sand in your car when it was found. It's kind of interesting, ain't it? And he's like, yeah, I don't know anything. But thank you, G. Thank you. And he got his phone and gave him his key. He said, all the things that you're doing, the truth will come out, and then everything is going to come, and you ain't going to be able to go around with this lie or whatever you're doing, because the truth will be revealed. Just letting you know that. Because G is watching you, and he's investigating. So all the stuff that you're doing, yeah, it's going to come, and it's like Carson. He should have just came. I know he's a teenager, so of course he's gonna lie, but he should know that they're watching him and they're having Jeffrey investigate him. So he should have just told the truth that he was doing cocaine, he was doing all types of drugs. He was at that house, he was doing drugs, and he was with Connor. He did admit that he was with Connor, but he left out the whole thing about being inside the house and doing all those drugs, because he knows if they find that out, he's gonna be in big trouble, because he's not supposed to be mixing that medication with alcohol. Is one thing. All that cocaine and stuff with you, man. Yeah, they about to up his doses back again, because he's getting kind of out of control with the drug use. He's going too far. I understand stuff is hard for him, but he's gonna have to find a better way to deal with his issues. Because I know it was hurting him, the thing with Lisa choosing Drew over him, and then Will not speaking to him, and him feeling like he don't have anybody that's there for him no more. So now he's going out of control again. But he needs to learn to just write it down or talk to someone about it. Can't be that drug. The way he was doing those drugs, he could have killed himself. Like, it was going way too far. I was like, oh, hell no. Hell no. Hell to the no, 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 sir. You need to stop. That's excessive and overly going too far for me. Said no, sir, no, sir, no, sir. Doing too much. And then Will went to Uncle Phil's office and he just like, Uncle Phil, I spoke to Brian and I come to find out that Doc has been taking bribes to steer his his players to agents and to colleges, and now there's somebody that is trying to expose it. So they said, sit down. We got something to talk about. So next episode is getting good, and I'm actually gonna be looking at the latest episode that I just did this review. This episode 8, so I'm gonna be looking at episode 9, doing a review shortly for that one next. So this is your girl Goddess, and like, comment, subscribe, and let me know how you feel about this episode. Because this episode, this season is getting good. Doc is crazy. So just let me know how you feeling, what you think I should talk about next, because not this weekend, but in a week or so, I'm gonna be starting to do reviews of Real Housewives of Atlanta this season. It's gonna get popping. And then if there's another series that's coming out or anything else that y'all want me to review, since I'm getting subscribers and I want to thank it, I got like 7 or 8 new subscribers. So welcome. This is Goddess, and let me know in the comments below. Also, do you like my name, Goddess T's Journey, or do you like Galactic Vibes? Which name do you like? Because I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna change my name to Galactic Vibes, or I'm gonna keep my name as Goddess T's Journey. So let me know how you feel about the episode. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how you feel about this episode. Make your comments below. I like any type of feedback I can get, and let me know if any other like TV series or movies or anything that you would like me to talk about, and I can review it and make a review about it. Just let me know. And this is Goddess. Talk to you later, YouTube.